Hi, Michelle. Michelle, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, hi, there you are. Hi, you look so cute.
Thank you. How are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much. So I'm going to introduce myself, and then you can introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Jennifer Newman. I am a psychic medium, and today Michelle has so graciously agreed to interview me for the second time because the first time we had a little user error and it did not record. So Michelle, if you don't mind introducing yourself, and then we will get started with the interview.
Hi, I'm Michelle Gonzales. She has graciously let me interview her. I'm so excited, and I thank you so much for the opportunity to do this.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. So my viewers on Facebook were given the opportunity to write in and I guess let me know if they were interested in interviewing me. And Michelle also got a reading, a mini reading that did not get recorded, but I picked Michelle out of everyone that emailed me, and it was a lot of fun. So we can get started with the interview if you're ready.
I'm ready. Okay. How old were you when you first discovered you had this gift?
I think I've always known ever since I was probably 3 or 4 years old. I started having past life memories and started hearing my name being called from a very early age. I couldn't even tell you because it's just part of my normal. So the first time I astral projected, I was 15, wide awake. So I've just always heard and seen things. And it just kind of progressed into the mediumship where I receive messages.
Awesome. Did it confuse you or make you nervous when you recognized you could communicate with spirits?
Absolutely. All I knew how to do was to cry and, you know, have a little freak out. And it has gotten to the point, I guess in my 20s, I ended up in the emergency room having a full-blown panic attack where I thought that I was having a heart attack, and they treated me for a heart attack actually. And so it can be really confusing when you are not sure what's going on because spirit can overload your senses with hearing, smelling, feeling different ways. So you really have to harness that.
Did you have any formal training or instruction to further your gift?
I have. Over the years, I have taken different classes from local psychics and mediums. And when I say local, I live in a really small town. So local would be in Austin, Rosenberg, Galveston. So over the years, I've taken classes from many teachers. And probably a year and a half ago, I started taking classes from Lisa Williams, who is a renowned psychic medium. And I'm really grateful that I'm able to be able to learn underneath her.
What is the difference between a psychic and a medium, or is there a difference?
There is a difference. So psychics are able to lock into your chakras and your energy field and let you know things about yourself. And mediums are able to, we're into your aura also, but we're looking at your loved one's auras on the other side. So we're able to get all of the information that is in their aura. And that's the difference. So not all psychics are mediums, but all mediums are psychic.
Okay. Are you able to, I'm sorry, what are the difference between earthbound spirits and spirits that have crossed over?
So this is one of the things that the older I get and the more experience I get, I feel like it's hard to explain. I feel like all spirits are able to come and go at will. And if they choose to stay here, that is their choice. I don't necessarily feel like they have to stay here. It's because they choose. And the spirits that I communicate with, I feel just come back and forth because that's how we feel our loved ones around us. They don't stay around us usually, but they're able to cross between the two planes.
Are you able to communicate with both spirits?
I'm sorry.
Are you able to communicate with both spirits, the earthbound and the crossed over?
I have never really communicated with the spirit and thought, oh, they're earthbound. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming that I'm able to connect with all of them, but I've never come across one that I know for sure has to stay here.
Why did you decide to use your gift to help people connect with their loved ones?
For years, when I would get spirit coming to me, giving me messages, I did not know who the messages were for. And I thought, this is just stupid. Why are they giving me messages when I don't know where they belong? And I would pray that, I didn't hear them or see them, and it would go away, and then it would come back. It never would stay away. And I would ask God, please don't let me hear or see them. And when my mother was sick, I knew that I was going to have to be able to make sure that she was okay and be able to communicate with my mother. And just the peace that I'm able to bring people who are really having a hard time and working through the grief, it's just another tool that you can use after you have grieved. It's another tool where you can get answers and some closure.
What do you tell people when they ask you what you do for a living?
I do tell people that I'm a psychic medium, that I'm able to communicate with loved ones on the other side. And most of them, I think, at least the people that I know, when they ask me, they already know what I do. They just want to hear me say it. But it's really interesting. It's really been, received greatly. So I'm happy.
What assumptions do people make about what you do?
Funny, a couple of weeks ago, I was at a fair, and I had a lady tell me that she was really interested in getting a reading. She had never had one. She'd always wondered, but she was going to have to pray about it. And I said, it's okay. I believe in God. I pray. I believe that my gift is from God. And so that's really, I want people to know that it's not voodoo. There's nothing scary about it. Our loved ones were people here, and they're people on the other side. We're all spirit and energy. And if they were really nice, they're probably going to be really nice on the other side and want to talk to me. So I guess the worst assumption is people thinking that I don't believe in God or what I do is bad. So I think that God wants me to give messages. At least that's the deal that I have with him.
What is unique about your gift that might be different from another medium?
Ooh, so we all have different gifts, and I'm not sure what everyone else has. So one of the things that may be different about me is when I connect with spirit, they always give me a name or show me a picture before I actually see them. So I will see, usually in my head, I'll get a name, or they'll show me something, and then I'm like, oh, okay, who's showing me this? And then I'm able to see them. And I love music, and a lot of times they'll give me songs. So I'll hear songs they like, or just the whole lyric. So I always tell people, look up the song. If I give you a song, you better go look up the words, because there's probably a really long message that they want to give you.
Okay, how do you prepare for a reading?
I don't do a whole lot of preparation. I always, right before a reading, probably within the hour, I wonder to myself, and that's what a lot of psychic is. You wonder, you're curious. Oh, I wonder what they're calling me for. And it'll usually come to me before the reading. And I always say my prayers and ask my loved ones on the other side, my angels and guides, to help me communicate with your loved ones who would like to communicate with me. And that's pretty much the only thing I do. Sometimes I do sage just because it helps me feel calm and to clear the energy, but that's usually what I do.
How can someone get the most out of a reading? How should they prepare?
It's always good to come with an open mind, a notepad and a pencil, and talk to your loved ones before you're reading. And they already know that you're going to have your reading. They know what day, exactly when to show up. They know it before us. So just talk to your loved ones and ask them to show up and to be able to be open to receive the messages that you're supposed to receive.
What are the most common questions that you get asked?
The number one question that I get asked is, are they okay? And the answer is always yes, they're okay. They're here communicating. I do, sometimes they ask me if they look okay. And you have to understand that we don't have a physical body. We have an etheric body, and they can change things and show me how they want me to look. A lot of times people come through with, sometimes they come through with different hair color or slightly off. They can show me, they're always a little bit thinner, I say. And who wouldn't want to be thinner? I'm like, okay. Especially people that I know were a little bit bigger, they always look a little smaller to me. And I'm not sure exactly why that is, if they just want to look smaller, or if there's kind of like almost like a camera lens, like, am I seeing them through this different? And so they look a little differently. So.
Are you always able to reach someone's loved one when you're doing a reading?
I'm always able to reach a loved one, but maybe not the one in particular that they want to communicate with. I always say that you're going to get the messages that you need to hear. I've had, for the most part, I would say probably close to 85, 90% of the time, I am able to reach a particular loved one. And if they don't come through in that session, that doesn't mean that they'll never come through. It just means that the others who have come through are louder, or you need to hear their message before this other person. So don't be sad or discouraged from having another reading if that one person doesn't come through that time.
Have you ever spoke to a spirit that scared you or made you nervous, that just kind of trumped everybody else that came through?
I don't think so. I try to set my intention to only communicate with those who walk in the white light of the Holy Spirit. Those are my exact words every single time. And I don't entertain the idea of the yucky people. I ask God to, surround and protect me. Those are always my prayers every day and every night before I go to bed. So I'll let somebody else deal with that. There is negative energy, but I feel like if you don't put that out there, that you won't attract it.
Okay. Are you able to actually see the spirits or just hear them when they come through?
I do see them. So a lot of times they'll be in my room, and the other times I'll just see them in my head. And usually when I hear their voice, it's in my head, but there are times when I will hear them outside. And that's a little bit more like, oh my gosh, who said that? So I think that's why they put the idea, or I'm able to hear them in my head, because you can just get overloaded. Your brain can kind of like misfire. I always say that if you see them all the time and they're like right up in your face, that can be jarring, and you don't always want to hear their voices all around you. So I think it's just kind of a protection thing, and maybe something that I set up years ago, because, I don't have them show me scary things. I have different signs and symbols for different things, because I don't want to be scared. It would be too traumatizing for me to do readings like that. So I think it's best that way, that I don't hear them all the time outside, because then you're wondering, okay, who said that? So.
Have you ever had to refuse a reading?
Well, I've said no. I said no, I've never had to refuse a reading, but I have since the last interview. When I was too tired at a festival, I had done so many readings and I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, no, I'm sorry. I'm all used up for today. But I do get a couple of people message me, and the main thing is when they just want to ask questions before booking a reading. And that's not, it takes so much energy out of me to do a reading that that's what it needs. Both people need to, it's a give and a take. It's not take and take. Both people need to be able to give and receive. So, but for the most part, no. I usually do most all of my readings, except for if I've done too many in one day, I suppose.
Okay. If you were able to invite a famous spirit to a dinner party, who would you invite and why?
I think I would invite Prince. I told you last time, I thought, oh, I had to think long and hard. It would be Elton John, but he's still here. Thank God. I really like Prince a lot ever since I was a kid. And I think that he had a troubled life. I think that he felt really alone. And I think he would be fun. I love his music. So
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Are you able to control your connection with the spirit world, or is it a constant thing, or always spirits always trying to contact you without you, asking for it or
for
anything
the
like
most
that?
part, I can control it, except sometimes when I'm going to sleep, they'll come because they know that I'm just laying there trying to go to bed. And sometimes they sneak in and start telling me things, trying to get a message through. And I have to politely remind them that it's no longer business hours. That sounds so silly, but I really have to tell them, otherwise they'll keep coming to me trying to get messages. So that is why I do Facebook lives on most Wednesdays and most Sundays, and I let them come and I give their messages to people who may not be able to find me otherwise. And it's really cut down a lot, and I get better sleep, because as soon as I'm about to fall asleep, I'll start repeating what they tell me, and then I'll kind of come out of it, and I'll wake myself up doing that. So as long as I can and I have to do it every night, because if I miss, they may come, but I have to set my intention that, I can't be bothered while I'm sleeping. But every once in a while I do. Just last week, I forgot to set my intention, and I had a man coming to me telling me about his wife. And I woke I was repeating every word that he said, because you're in between awake and asleep. And it woke me up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so mad. And I can't be too mad at them, because, he just wanted to get a message, but he needs to come I told him, you have to come back during the live so I can get the message to who it needs to go to.
Do you have advice for people who might have the same gift but does not know what it is, what's happening, or how to deal with it?
Absolutely. So I think that it is best to talk to someone first. I have a lot of energy running through me. So it's best to talk to someone if you don't understand. And I thank God that I had such an understanding mama and grandma, and they were there to help me along a little bit. I don't think my mom necessarily had her gift open, but she definitely believed and knew what was going on with me. And I got made fun of at school, just trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what's happening to me? What do I see? So it's really important to find someone else like you. There are now, thank goodness, there's tons of groups online. Literally, all you have to do is Google and Facebook groups that you can find like-minded people and people who can give you answers. You can take classes. And sometimes, especially, I have found I have a high level of anxiety, because I always call it excess energy. And with spirit, you're reading their energy. So it's a lot of energy around you. A lot of my friends who are psychic mediums also have anxiety, and it's a lot to handle by yourself. So if, I'm not on medication, but you may need medication. Each person is different. And so if you're not able to control it by yourself, I'd say definitely reach out. You know, there's therapists, anybody that you can talk to help you understand what's going on.
That's awesome. Well, that was the last of my questions for you today.
Awesome. I really appreciate it.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Awesome. Well, I invite everyone watching to check me out on Facebook. The name is Daughter with Spirit, Psychic Medium Jen Newman. And I go live most Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time and most Sundays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And there may be a message waiting for you. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.